Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Frozen 2 was directed by Christopher Buck and Jennifer Lee, and this takes place, obviously, after the events of Frozen 1, where Elsa is now hearing this voice coming from the Enchanted Forest, where a bunch of evil magical things happened a long time ago, so she goes towards it, and then Anna follows her, and it just leads into a whole nother big old adventure with your favorite characters from the last movie. And if you guys are new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you live talking by movies. But anyway, so Frozen came out about 6 years ago in 2013, and it's an understatement to say that it was a massive success, grossing over $1 billion worldwide, tons and tons of merchandise, and just a lot of great memorable songs that just got blasted over and over and over and over again. But anyway, so here we are, 2019, the new Frozen movie is out, and yeah, so I'd say this movie is good, not as good as the first one, but, I still think it's a solid movie that doesn't really do a whole lot new or not quite as inventive as the first movie, but there are quite a few things that I enjoy about this movie. I mean, first off, Olaf is great, played by Josh Gad. He's definitely, once again, the comedic relief of the movie. He's got definitely all the funny moments. In the film, my favorite part is when he's reenacting the first movie, and it was the part where I just laughed so hysterically throughout the whole thing, so did a lot of other people in the theater, so it's always great to see more Olaf again. And the one element I do really like about the movie is how it goes deeper into the past of these characters and their families, and being like, okay, so maybe not everything's quite as they were told, and also explores the origins of Elsa's powers a little bit too, which I thought was really cool, which also leads to some really great visuals, like this one scene from the trailer where Elsa's trying to ride this stormy ocean stuff. It's like, I love that kind of stuff, so it's really great to see that kind of stuff here in a Disney animated movie like this. And there's this one moment where Anna and Olaf are going down this river surrounded by rock monsters, and they go down this waterfall in this custom ice canoe thing. That was cool, and it very much is just begging to be turned into a ride at Disney World. Like, I'm willing to bet in a year or two we're gonna get some sort of announcement saying, hey, coming soon to Disney World, the icy canoe ride from Frozen 2. If they made a ride out of the sewer scene from Ratatouille, they will definitely make a ride out of that. There's also a couple fun Easter eggs throughout the movie, like at the very beginning of the movie, slight spoilers, but only a really slight spoiler, there is a little tiny Baymax from Big Hero 6 Easter egg in there. That was really cool, and it was the first thing I noticed when that scene started, and it's at the very beginning of the movie too, so I was like, hey, wait a minute, is that Baymax? That is freaking great. And as far as the songs in this movie go, because after all it is a musical, the songs I think are good. I'm not quite sure if any of them are quite as good as any of the songs from the first movie, but there are some really good ones. I think for the most part they are well written, like, the ones about, the past calling you and not wanting to cause trouble. And there's this one song that involves Kristoff and Sven when Kristoff is trying to find a way to propose to Anna. Let's just say that without getting into a lot of detail, that I'm pretty sure everybody making this movie just decided to take all the drugs when they wrote and animated that scene, because oh boy. And kind of going back to what I said earlier about how the movie doesn't really do a lot kind of new or inventive, that kind of comes back to the ending as well, where this whole adventure, it's got some cool elements in it, but it also just kind of feels like the story as a whole kind of ends a lot sooner than you think it should, because, the movie's like an hour and 45 minutes, but when it gets to the point where they have to do the thing that resolves the story, it's like, wait a minute, you're already resolving it? Wait a minute, the movie's over? Wait a minute, excuse me, there is something missing here. Which really isn't me saying that the movie is rushed per se, but it just kind of feels like things wrap up very quickly. The story is very fast paced, of course, for an animated movie like this. But I do kind of feel like it could have slowed down a little bit in some areas, because it almost just feels like we get to the resolution a little faster than we should. So all in all, Frozen 2 may not be quite as good as Frozen 1, but as somebody that did quite enjoy the first Frozen movie, not like an obsessive level kind of enjoyment, but it's like, yeah, good movie, great song, some great characters. For somebody like that, I did enjoy this movie quite a bit. So basically, if you just want to see another feature-length adventure with Anna and Elsa and Olaf and all of them, you'll probably enjoy it. If your kids want to see this movie, they're probably gonna have a blast with it. And yeah, don't expect Frozen to go anywhere anytime soon. So, those are my thoughts on Frozen 2. And again, if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you live talking by movies. But anyway, so, if you guys have seen Frozen 2, then type that down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.